Hey Hofstra fans, it's already springtime. That means it's time for the WV Masons Coaches Report. I'm Rob Joyce, joined by the head coach of Hofstra softball, Bill Edwards. Coach, how are you?
Doing okay, getting ready, gearing it up for the big weekend.
And it starts this season. How's the preseason been?
It's been interesting. We've been trying to integrate a lot of new parts to to our team, and it's been great as far as the work ethic goes. Kids are working hard, and we have a lot of pieces of the puzzle we have to fit together. Obviously, we really can't wait to play now because we're ready to play, and in our sport, the key is to play games and figure out what you have to do to get better.
Coming off a 42-win season, base hit away from the Women's College World Series, how do you temper expectations heading into this year?
Don't even talk about last year, haven't brought it up at all, haven't discussed it. We're just trying to get this team's chemistry ready to hopefully have another successful year.
When did you decide to stop worrying about 2012 and start 2013? Was it the day after South Florida?
It was pretty much during our we have a little softball retreat with the coaching staff where we go away and we bury ourselves in my house for a couple of days and talk about the upcoming season. And we said that we really cannot discuss what happened last year with this year's team because it's a totally different team with totally different personnel, and we don't want them to think that really they accomplished anything this year. And it's all about this year. It's all about the present. So we just want to get this team focused on what they have to do, and not even think about what they accomplished in the past, because the past is the past.
Start looking at this year's team. Of course, you bring back Olivia Galati in the circle for her senior year. The numbers speak for themselves. Where does she improve in the offseason?
I think she's gotten herself into great shape. I think we've had a real good preseason conditioning program for her. She's been throwing a lot now, getting herself into throwing shape. She's in great physical shape, and now we have to get into throwing shape. She's also working on her hitting and her base running, so she's becoming a complete and total softball player.
And Erin Wade graduated. She was for so long that solid #2 option. Now you have a transfer, Bella Corral. What do you like from her?
She's really making progress now. Losing Erin Wade is huge because she was such a dependable pitcher, and she gave so much to the program. And she took great innings away from Olivia. Bella is starting out to find out exactly what she can and cannot do. We've made a couple of mechanical adjustments with her. She's been working hard and working on her command of her pitches, and I think that's the biggest thing is getting command of her pitches, where she needs to throw them, and get a little bit more action on those pitches as they come through the strike zone. And we feel that she's going to get there.
The person they'll be throwing to was Courtney Cruz. She has gone to graduation. Now you have Erin Tribute, her sophomore year. She takes the main catching duties. Have you seen her improve since last year?
Might be one of the most improved players on the team. In tremendous shape, has worked so hard, realizing her responsibility. The thing about Erin is that she realizes the responsibility that she has. She realizes who she's taking over for. She realizes the legacy of the program and the responsibility that she has, not only to handle Olivia but the pitching staff, but to become a complete player. And she has really dedicated herself to that and has done a great job.
3 of the 4 infield positions stay the same, but the one change, Krista Thorne is gone. Jess Hirschbuhl is back playing third base now. What does it do for the program that she returns and is healthy, able to play for another year?
A tremendous experienced player that has been there and done that, can play any infield position, probably could play the outfield. In fact, we had to move her there. She's like having a coach on the field. She'll take all of our signs, all of our signals, she'll relay them to the infield, she'll make sure everybody's on the same page. She came in as one of the best second basemen, sure-handed second baseman, moved her over to first base, really became accomplished at that position in a very short period of time. And now we're asking her to fill the shoes over at third, and she's been really, getting it done not only from a system standpoint, but from changing from slower hand position, playing the middle infield, to now being the old hot corner, where she's got to be quick over there. She's done a great job.
And the mainstays in the middle infield, Tori, Rocha, Bigler, in year 2 each at starting now full-time. Are they a lot more comfortable this year than you noticed them at the start of last year?
You really can't substitute experience, and once you get a full year at that position, coming back the second year, it's little nuances. It's getting a better break on the ball, it's working a little bit quicker, quicker technique things, but both of them have had good camps. Lindsey Reed also at second base, who was injured last year, the better part of last year, is also challenging Tori at second base. So we have a little competition going on there too.
Always good for competition. Then in the outfield, your mainstay in center, Rachel Senator, she is out for the foreseeable future with an injury. So Tessa Ziemba slides from right to center. Who's going to make those corner outfield spots?
You know, as of right now, DJ Slew and Ashley, you know, working real hard over in left. We're going to probably try a freshman over in right in Corinne Bailey, who's been very impressive during camp. We brought Corinne to be a catcher. Trippy has, you know, really done a great job behind there, so we have the luxury now of maybe moving Corinne to the outfield. That's the thing about the first couple weekends of going away, is that we're going to be experimenting around with a lot of our new players, figuring out where they're going to fit, where they pass my eye test. You know, I have, you know, everybody, you know, coaches have an eye test, and you sort of look at things and say, ooh, I like the way that looks. So we'll be, you know, going through a lot of eye tests during the first weekend down in Tallahassee.
And Corinne Bailey, one of the ones who started fall ballers, you immediately saw her at the very beginning. What does it say about her that you brought her in as a catcher and she's good enough to play outfield?
Sort of our, you know, backs up our philosophy is you don't recruit necessarily catcher, first baseman, and center fielder. You recruit a softball player. And all of our players, I mean, Erin Tribute, being a catcher, plays a great outfield too. So we have tremendous flexibility on this team. They're all softball players. We teach the fundamentals of the softball game, and then we just plug the player into where they're going to help us.
Senator, you miss her in center. You also miss her now at the top of the lineup. She led the CA in hitting last year. Any idea who kind of slides into that leadoff spot?
I have no idea. That'll be part of the early season to find out who gets off to a good start. We really don't have, and you know, losing Rachel in center field is huge for us. I mean, it really, you know, such a dominant defensive player and a dominant offensive player. We're going to have pretty much everybody in the lineup to pick up what we're going to be missing from her, particularly in that leadoff spot. I really, to this point in time, I have no idea who's going to lead off.
And is Rachel kind of taking everything in stride, realizing, yes, she can't play, but she can still contribute?
She is contributing unbelievably during practice. She's throwing every day. She is doing the restricted movements that she can do. She's in the cages hitting, you know, limited obviously. So as soon as she gets cleared and step by step starts to come back, the arm will be ready, the hitting will be ready, and then it's just a matter of plugging her back in. She's also working with some of our freshmen on slapping techniques. We have Liz Cazzola, who we've turned around from a right-handed hitter to a left-handed hitter, and Chloe Fitzgerald, who's making a very big impression during preseason. Rachel has worked just in tremendous time, you know, teaching some of the nuances. It's almost like they have their own private coach there, you know, one-on-one teaching, but she's really done a great job with those two players.
Is there a chance we could see Senator this year?
That's going to be up to Rachel and up to the coaching staff, dependent upon whether or not she's able to go. The problem with her injury is that it's a speed injury, and her game is a speed game. So unless she's back full speed, where she's getting time to, you know, home to first, and basically what she was doing last year, and can cover the range that she covered in center field based upon last year, if she gets back to that point early enough to help us, and we feel and she feels that it's a good move, we'll probably make that move. If not, she can always redshirt and come back the following year. If it wasn't a speed position, and if her role on this team wasn't as a speed player, I would say that her chances of getting back might be, you know, pretty good, maybe the end of April or, you know, middle of April. But you know, we're going to have to play it by ear and see what happens. We're hoping.
Instead, she's the coach for some of the younger players you alluded to. We talked about Corinne Bailey, you mentioned some others. What do you like from these freshmen?
Oh, just great softball players. You know, they need experience. They're very athletic. They each bring something different to the table. You know, we have Kimmy Smith, who's, you know, can throw a little bit, who's working a little bit in the infield, both at, you know, third and short. We've actually put her in the outfield a little bit during the fall to see what she can do there. It's a very good class Chloe Fitzgerald has improved tremendously in her throwing ability. So now, you know, we have someone who can give us some speed in the outfield, you know, the potential possibly being a leadoff hitter, slap hitter. You know, just gives us a lot of options from these players. And the only thing that they really need is game experience. And that's why we're ready to play games. We need to play games. We need to take these, you know, younger players and work them into the roles of whatever they may be.
And these games start this weekend. You go down to Tallahassee, the Florida State Invitational, Arkansas, Tulsa, Florida State, a couple of ranked teams receiving votes, NCAA tournament teams. What goes into making such a difficult schedule?
Just so that we can find out what we need to work on at such an early state. You know, we can go and probably have a little bit of an easier schedule and never really find out what we need to work on. Never find out, you know, I always say if you want to beat the best, you have to play the best, because now your players, particularly all of our young players, they're going to be able to see exactly the speed of the game, the level of the game that they're going to have to get to, how hard they're going to have to compete, you know, within these top 3 teams in order to become successful. So playing difficult schedule early really tells us what we have to work on, because they expose your mistakes right away, and also gives our younger players, you know, the open eye, you know, the alert of, whoa, this is really a whole nother level. Then they come back and they start practicing, or even if they get into a game, they start to figure out how fast they have to play.
Last year with a similar schedule, you started 0-9, so how important is it if you drop the first couple of games? It's okay, it's early in the season, you're learning tough teams.
It's a marathon sprint, and you know, it's a marathon and not a sprint, and we just need to start putting the pieces of the puzzle together, and we do that against the good teams because the pieces of the puzzle expose themselves very quickly. So you know, we just need to, you know, go out there, work, find out what we got to do, play against the top teams. You know, Tulsa is really one of the best teams in the country. And the only reason why we haven't seen them at the World Series is because they always have to go through Oklahoma, okay? Because they're always in their regional. SEC, Arkansas, Florida State, you know, top team in the ACC. This is really getting off to a tough start for us, but again, it's going to help us in the long term.
All right, it starts this weekend. Coach Bill Edwards, thank you as always for your time.
Looking forward to the weekend.
Hofstra takes on Florida State, Arkansas, and Tulsa this weekend down at the Florida State Invitational. Check out GoHofstra.com for all the game information. I'm Rob Joyce. Thanks, Hofstra fans, for tuning in to the WV Mason's Coaches Report with Bill Edwards.